Hi guys, Sarah here from Digital Grace Design, and I wanted to take a moment this afternoon to walk you guys through the Showit design platform and give you kind of an overview of everything that it can do and why I love it so much, and it's become my website design platform of choice. Let's get started. Okay, now that I've had a chance to share my screen with you guys, this is the design dashboard that you will see after you've gone to showit.co, logged in, or gone straight to app.showit.co and logged in with your user information, just an email and a password that you set up. What we're looking at right now is a copy of my free Baileyana Rose photography website design template, and you can download and use any of their free templates or bring up any of the many templates that they have available for purchase. So you can really find a design that fits the needs of your business quite easily, no matter what it looks like or what you want it to feel like when your site visitors visit. So there's lots of options for light or dark or whimsical or moody or colorful, tons of things for you to choose from, or you can choose to design from scratch too, if that feels like a better fit for you. So just so that we have something to work with today, I have pulled up the Baileyana Rose template, and this is what the design dashboard will look like for you when you are logged in. In the middle here, you'll see that we have a desktop version here and a mobile version here, which is awesome because it gives you the opportunity to design a mobile version that is either pretty much exactly the same as a desktop version or completely different, so that you can really build it to optimize the user experience for both desktop users and mobile users. So best of both worlds there. You're not set or stuck in stone with something that gets transferred over to mobile for you. You really have the design power and freedom and flexibility to create an experience that's just as awesome on the mobile side too. So pretty spectacular there. If we look over here on the left side of our menu, you'll see basically all of the settings that come into play for your site overall. First, you're going to see our site settings, and if you click on that, you're going to see the site name. Right now it's Baileyana Rose Copy, but of course you can set it for anything that you'd like. When we want to go and launch our site, you can edit the domain here by putting in the domain that you've purchased for your site. You can choose the little icon that will pop up here in the tab. So right now we've got the Showit insignia here, but you can set a version of your logo or a favicon of your choosing. If you pop on over to blog, you'll see that this is where you can put in your blog domain. So for this one, it might be baileyanaRose.com/blog. And then we have our third-party tab here, and this is great for easy integration with Google Analytics if you want to track who's coming to see your site, or your Facebook app ID. That also comes into play with the Facebook Pixel and being able to track site visitors that come to your page and then perhaps retarget them later. So know that you have those capabilities as well. We're going to come on down here and close. Our design settings is where we're going to come to set all of our fonts and our colors for the whole site. So you can come in here and set both the desktop and the mobile versions so that no matter where you put a block of text that is categorized as a title, it will always look like this. You can make it a little smaller for mobile, set that separately. Anytime you have a heading, it looks like this, subheading and paragraph. When you hit the ... it will give you the opportunity to select the font that you'd like to use, as well as the size, the line height, letter spacing, whether it's aligned center, left, right, or justified, whether it's normal, uppercase, lowercase settings, or fully uppercase. Kind of just depends on whatever you want it to be. You can customize that here, and it will be a site setting that is used throughout your whole site. So it's nice to have that set from the beginning so that you can make sure your site is consistent throughout the whole experience. You can also, of course, set the color and different linking options here. You will, of course, want to also set settings that look similarly on the mobile side, but again, you can play with the unique settings that will make the mobile experience awesome as well. It feels very much like a Microsoft Word or any other kind of word processing software you may have used already. So you'll just select the one that you want, change the size, and do that here. You can also upload your color palette for your brand, which is great if you've had a branding design elsewhere or you have brand colors that you use throughout your brand, whether it's on social media, whether it's on your website, your business cards. It's great to have those set so that no matter where your clients or customers find you, you will always be consistent in the way that you are presenting yourself and viewed. So if you don't have brand colors yet or fonts like the ones that we're using below, this is something that you probably will want to invest in or create for your brand at some point, hopefully soon. So to change those, you'll click on the color, and if you have those hex codes, you can just copy and paste them right in here, but you can also just click around and pick different colors of your choosing, and then hit OK, move on to the next one, you're good to go. So you can set all of those through here to meet the needs of your brand for consistency in the way that your brand is being received and viewed. In terms of the fonts that we're using down here, if you click over to fonts here, you'll see that this is where you can upload fonts to be used throughout your site. If you're using Google Fonts, which is great because then no matter what, pretty much all computers and cell phones can read Google Fonts, so it's great to use those. You can choose your fonts here. You can choose a bold or a regular, an italic if that comes in it, and then just hit Add Google Font, and it'll pop up in this menu here. If you do have a custom font or one that you've paid for on another website or service, you can add those as well. If you don't yet have the web font, the WOFF font version of your font, you can use Font Squirrel or Transfonter or one of the many services online that are free to generate that WOFF file. From there, you can add the custom font and just upload it from your computer. Super simple, and it'll pop up right here. Once you've got all your fonts here, you can pop back over to your site style and choose them in these options as well. So we'll save that and come back on down. Our media library is where you're going to upload those WOFF fonts or any of the photos that you'll want on your site. You can just come back down to upload files, and it works very similarly to any other uploading that you've probably done in your use of the internet in general. I have faith you'll be fine. Coming on down here, you'll see our list of pages that we have available. This is also where you can add additional pages if you'd like, just by hitting this plus sign and either adding a blank page that'll give you white page from scratch. We can do that down here. You'll just see it gives us an individual canvas, which in Showit, canvases make up a page in its entirety. So if we come on over to the home page, for example, if we click into our page here, you'll see a bunch of different blocks, and each of those blocks are called canvases. So a page is, let's say, your home page, and then you'll see the header canvas, which would be this one here, or the header image canvas, which would be this one here. So canvases make up a page, and then you have individual elements like a gallery that make up the canvases. So it starts at page, goes down to canvas, and then goes down to elements on that individual canvas. And those all make up your site. So just for that context, we'll pop back over to site, and you can see, again, all of the pages we have available. I just showed you how to add a blank page, but if for some reason you wanted to bring a page over that you already have designed, that would pop up when you have select new page. Or if you wanted to create a new page based on a design that you already have on a different page, let's say you really like your about page layout, you can duplicate that page to change as you'd like by hitting the ... here and hitting duplicate. And then you'll have a second version of that you can edit for your new page as you see fit. So really, really simple that way. Coming on down, we've got our blog templates, and these are basically going to be the templates or the themes that speak directly to your WordPress blog. So one of the awesome things about Showit is that, yes, you get the creative freedom to design the way that your site overall looks in Showit, and you have complete freedom to create what you'd like, but you have the best of both worlds in that Showit blogs directly onto the WordPress platform as well. So you have all of the amazing features that WordPress offers you in your blogging capabilities, but you're able to make it look cohesive and just like the rest of your site, so it doesn't look like you're leaving to go to a separate blog site. So that's pretty awesome. So if we click on that, this is what our blog will look like once it goes onto WordPress and speaks directly with that once it's all hooked up. And our single post page for when someone clicks into an individual post, you can decide what that will look like as well. Site canvases are kind of a brilliant tool in that they are canvases. Remember, we were talking about the canvases make up the individual page. And a site canvas is something that you can set so that no matter where you put it on your site, maybe it's your header, maybe it's your contact form, maybe it's your footer, it will look the same on every page that you use it on. So this is great if you are making an edit to your header, let's say, and you don't want to have to make the change on every single page that the header is on. If you have it set as a site canvas, it will change it automatically for you on all of those pages so that you stay consistent, and it makes your life a lot easier. If you are looking at this on your site, you'll see it by any of these canvases that have the diagonal lines, and you can see when you go edit logo header, it tells you it's a site canvas here. So do know if you edit it here, it will edit it on all the other pages. So this is a plus, but if for some reason you wanted to just edit on one page, you will need to change it back to a page canvas on that particular page, just so it doesn't go in and affect all of the other ones. Trust me, I have been there. So that explains our whole left-hand side site menu. If we click onto page, we looked at this before, but this will be the menu that represents all of the pieces of the page, and you can click into each individual canvas to edit those as you see fit. The menu on the right-hand side will always have to do with the individual element that is selected at that time to work with. So at this point, because this is blue, that means that we have selected that particular canvas. So this right-hand menu will represent the settings for that particular canvas. If we were to, let's say, go over to our home page and we click on page and we go to our header image, if we click on gallery, see how it's selected here and it's got a blue outline around it. Now we're looking at the menu for that particular gallery. So always know that the menu that's active on the right-hand side pertains specifically to the element that you have selected on the left-hand side or that you've clicked upon on the design itself. So it will pull up that menu there for you. If we come down to this bottom menu, you'll see we have our icons here that allow you to just look at the desktop version, just look at the mobile version, or look at both. Sometimes I find personally that looking at both of them at the same time can be a little bit confusing. So if I'm designing for the first time and setting up a new canvas, I might choose to look only on the desktop view. That way I can see what it looks like all on its own without having to get distracted by the mobile. When you add an element, say a text box or a photo, to the desktop side, it will also add it to the mobile design. You can choose to turn it off later if you don't need it there, but it will automatically add it there for you. That being said, you'll still want to double check the mobile version of it to make sure that the formatting is what you'd like it to look like. Because again, sometimes we want to tweak the formatting so that the user experience is a little bit different on the mobile device. So that let's say if you have 3 pictures spread out on the desktop, if you put those on a mobile, it's going to be really cramped. So you might choose instead to put things vertically in a row instead of horizontally. And you can set that up just by clicking on the Show Mobile and Desktop and setting that up here and moving it on this side of the screen. Again, it won't shift things over here in terms of the layout, but it will still keep that element on the desktop version. So do make sure you double check over here as you're designing, just so that when you're done, you don't have a scrambled mess on the mobile side of things for elements that were added to it but weren't formatted. So it's great to have that option to set them up differently. Just remember to do it while you're doing it, or a page at a time, just so you're not left at the end when you're so excited that you just finished your whole site design and then you realize, oops, I've got to go back and format the mobile side. So know that that is something that you need to think about. And I've definitely had clients in the past that have come to me at the end saying, oh shoot, I didn't do the mobile side, can you help me? So know that you are not alone, but use this tip do it along the way. It'll save yourself a little bit of a headache at the end. Down here, we've got our zoom in or out. So you can zoom in or out as you see fit. I'm going to move back to desktop. And we've got our ability to add text. So I'm just going to go back over to our new page since it's blank. And we can start playing and editing here. So if I wanted to add title, I'm going to say add a title, and it pops up using those exact design specifications that we set in our design settings at the beginning of this tutorial. So with this, we can make the text box bigger, drag it however you like, and then we'll say Bayliana Pros Services. So we'll see that it goes on 2 lines. If I want it to be on 1 line, all I have to do is stretch out the text box, and then I move it exactly where I want it. That's part of the beauty of Showit, is that you can really drag and drop things wherever you want it to go. So just hold your mouse down, pick it up, and drag it where you want it. Showit also has some awesome tools that allow you to make sure that your alignment is right, and this is honestly a godsend. As we talked about before, when there's an individual element that's selected, either it's got the square around it or it's highlighted blue, the menu on the right-hand side will be pertaining directly to that particular element. So as we're in size and position at the moment, you can see that we have these options to center to canvas. So if we want to center it horizontally in the middle, you can click that. And if we want to center it vertically from left to right also, you can click that. And now you know that that element is centered. Pretty slick. So I'm going to move it back up to the top of this canvas and then just center it there. If I wanted to go away from our site settings that we designed in the beginning, you still can do that by going up to this top text style and changing the color, let's say, or changing the size. Whatever you want, you can change that here too. Most of the time you will want to stick with your site settings just so it does look like a consistent user experience, but more power to you if you want to change it at a given point for a particular use. If you do change it here though on desktop, just note that it won't automatically change it on the mobile side of things for you. So do remember to come over, and because of our spacing, this will probably be on 2 lines. So I'm going to stretch that box. Again, I'm just dragging and dropping it wherever I want. So incredibly simple. And then I want to center it, so I'll come down to size and position, and I'll hit that center. Boom, done, super simple. So coming back over to our desktop design, let's say now I want to add a paragraph below it. I'll just hit paragraph. I'll stretch it out to approximately the size that I want. And I come over and copy some of our text from a different page. We've got some fun lorem ipsum text that is in dessert fashion. So if you're a dessert fan like me, always a win. And I'm just going to paste that in. Oops, looks like I didn't quite copy it. Great, come on over. Got too distracted talking about desserts, right? So now I can drag that down so it encompasses the whole body of text. And this is just great to use the filler text if you haven't yet written your copy, but you do want to start laying out your site. Totally fine. And then, of course, you can delete that as you will and start typing it as you like. So you have the option at any point, but I'm going to put that back for now. Let's say now that we want to make this canvas bigger so that we have more space, because it looks like we've kind of filled it up, right? So we can either drag the canvas larger on this side by using that measuring bar, or we can come over here because again, we've clicked on our canvas and come up here and you can make the height, let's say 700, and that will make it a lot longer for you. If you do also want to make a canvas that sticks to the top of your screen, maybe for your navigation bar, that's where sticky comes into play, and you can set that setting here to stick to the top, or the top once you start scrolling, or the bottom if you want that option too. But for this particular canvas, we don't need that sticky option. You can also hide canvases to start if you're going to make it a pop-up. That's totally fine too. But let's say we've got our services described here, and now I want to add 3 boxes that people can click on that describe 3 different services. So if we move on over, you'll see in this next little menu that we have rectangles that we can add. icons like social media icons or arrows if you need people to be able to click from side to side, embed code if you want to be able to embed a YouTube video or an Instagram feed, or code from an email marketing service like ConvertKit or a MailChimp, video, or a gallery like that one that we're using on our header image on the homepage. You have those opportunities to add them here. So for now, we'll add a rectangle, and it's currently set to be a gray rectangle, but you can just drag those corners to make it whatever size you want. If you do know that you want it specifically a specific size, you can type in those measurements here on this menu on the right-hand side, because again, it pertains directly to the element that's highlighted. So let's say I want it to be a perfect square and I want it to be 300 by 300. You can type that in there too. Or just go ahead and drag the corners. Either works. If I wanted to change the color, you guessed it, just click on that particular element and come up to our shape style, and you can click the different colors that you'd like it to be. If you wanted it to be just a border, you can make the overall rectangle transparent by clicking this box here and hit OK. We'll have a thin border, so I'm going to say 1 there, and then we'll pick a dark blue border. So now that's what that would look like. So perfectly fine. But again, back to we want 3 options. So I'm going to drag and select that, and I'm going to Command C to copy and Command V to paste. Now I have 2. And now I have 3. So awesome. This is great, right? We have 3 boxes. The only hurdle here is that now they don't look very even. That's not ideal. We want the details to really work. So if you ever have pieces that you have several of and you want them to be in perfect alignment horizontally and evenly dispersed across your canvas, you can hold down your mouse and drag across them to select all 3 of them. And just like our centering alignment tools that we looked at before with our single elements, we now have a fun alignment menu that pops up on this side of the screen too, that allows us to align several elements at once. So you can align things if, let's say, you had text on top of this rectangle and you wanted to make sure the text was centered on that rectangle, you can do that too. And in this case, we've got 3 things in a row that we want to make sure are aligned. So we can align them to the group, and I want them to be even across. So I'm going to center them. And then if I want to distribute them evenly, I have that option too. So I will distribute them horizontally. And then if I want all 3 of those boxes, now that they're all even and evenly distributed, I can center them to the canvas as a whole by clicking up here. So super, super simple to be able to make sure that everything is even and clean and beautiful, even though you're just placing things where you want. If you do want to drag them all, since they're all highlighted, you can put them wherever you want. Again, I'm going to center them. And then I'm going to come over here, and let's say I want to make all 3 of them smaller. I'm just going to hold down that corner and drag them, and now they're going to stay evenly spaced and also centered to each other, but I can make them all grow smaller or larger. Pretty slick, right? The other thing that's pretty cool over here that will pop up for all of the elements, so whether it's a box or a photo or a piece of text, is that you can make anything a button within Showit. So it's pretty cool to be able to make a picture be a link, or make a phone number in your footer actually call you, or you have an email icon and you want to connect it to your email address so that when they click on it, they can email you directly. You can make anything be a button, and that's pretty slick. So if you highlight the piece that you'd like to be a button, let's say this rectangle, you'll see that we have our menu for that rectangle over here, and we have click actions. You can come here and add a link of your choosing. So right now, I could say, I want to link that rectangle to my gallery. Great, now when someone clicks this, it'll take them to gallery 2. If I wanted it to link to a particular canvas on a page, I can set that too. If I wanted to have the option to make an arrow that's at the bottom of the page scroll up to the top so that people don't have to manually scroll themselves, you could hit it to top of page. You could connect it to an outside URL. Maybe you use like an outside booking software. You can make this rectangle send people to that booking software to schedule an appointment. We talked about social media icon links, we talked about email, we talked about phone. All of that is possible. So pretty cool. You can do that with that rectangle, but you could also do it with this text. You could do it with this title. You could do it for the words on your navigation bar to take them to the proper page. So pretty slick to be able to do that as well. I know we talked about galleries before, but I want to show you that as well so that you know how to add pictures. I just dragged our canvas longer just by pulling that down, but friendly reminder, you can do that as well. If you wanted to just add a single picture to this page, you can click the media library and pull up the picture of your choosing. Let's say we'll use this stock photo for something. And it's going to pop up really big, but we can, as we did with our rectangles, drag it to whatever size we want. And let's say I want it to be more of a rectangle. You can change how the picture is viewed. You can change the settings to fill or contain. But let's say that's how I want it to be. And I want to center it to the page because, of course, super helpful. Great. And that is perfect. So single picture, awesome. That was pretty easy, right? If you ever want to change that picture, maybe you downloaded someone else's Showit template and you need to swap out the pictures that are in the template for the ones that you would like to use, you just click on that picture and then again, click image up here, click on the picture itself, and then pick the picture of your choosing. So we'll use this one. Great. Now you have a lovely French feeling dining room set on your page. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and delete this just so that we can show you what a gallery looks like. But if you go to add a gallery, we've got this box here. Again, you can drag it to be whatever size you want it to be. Let's say though that I want it to span the whole entire width of the page. I'm going to come over here to size and position, and I'm going to say 1200 just because that'll be the size for this. I'm going to say 500. Great. And again, of course, I want to center it. And because I want to make sure that it goes across the whole page no matter what, you have also the ability to horizontally lock it with this big long arrow to make sure that it will grow and expand with your whole page no matter how big someone's screen is. So that'll lock it in place. You can also lock things to the left or the right and have that option here as well. So pretty cool there. If we want to add pictures, you'll just come up to Gallery Images, Manage Images, and then add whichever pictures you want just by clicking on them, check it off, and move it over. Let's say we want to add this one for some reason. And you can drag and drop these to be in the order that you'd like to be in. So once it's on there, I'm going to hit Save. And then they will pop up in my gallery. Showit does have a couple different gallery setups that you can use, whether it's a simple gallery like this one that's full screen, or a sliding gallery that does more of like a carousel that goes through, or a tiled gallery that looks more like a Pinterest feed where everything is kind of spaced as you'd like it with as many or as few columns as you would like. If you do have the simple or the sliding galleries, you can set them to automatically advance or put in arrows so that people have the power to click through. Totally fine. So we've talked about the video, the gallery, how you can embed different things like your Instagram feed. And of course, with all of these things, you can drag them and drop them wherever you want them to be. So you have complete control over the layout of your site so that you can make it be as creative as you want or as simple and minimal as you want. The power to create it is in your hands. Coming on over here, two super important little things. We've got undo and redo. We've all made mistakes and we want to make it go back. No worries, just hit undo. We've got our handy dandy help documents here. Showit gives us tons of helpful documents to allow us to learn how to do different things. So if you want to read those documents, perfect. And then if for some reason you can't find the answer in those help documents, the Showit support team is honestly amazing. They are there, I think like 9 to 5 Pacific Standard Time to help you with lots of different tasks, whether it be how do I change the size of the picture, why isn't my blog connecting properly. They're there to walk you through things or troubleshoot things with you pretty much live. So pretty awesome to have that resource there. It's been one of the best customer service experiences that I've had on any website design platform, and I highly recommend them. So use them, use them, use them. They are lovely, and that tool is right there for you. One thing that is super important too for your site is you want your SEO settings to be really easy to access. So if you click on a given page, like our homepage right now, you'll notice that, of course, this right-hand menu now pertains to that particular page. And if we go down here, you can see that we have really easy to access SEO settings. So you can specifically set the page title, which would be if you Googled, let's say, wedding photography in New York City, and that's where Baileyana Rose was. The title on the search results that would come up would be whatever you set it as here. So let's say Baileyana Rose photography and maybe New York City wedding photography. Great. If that's what you want it to be, that will now pop up as your title if your page pops up when someone searches for that on Google. So you can specifically set what you want it to be. Same goes for the meta description below. You can give the exact blurb that you want Google to show potential searchers as a description of your business. So you could say, you know, welcome to Baileyana Rose Photography. We specialize in light and airy wedding photography based in New York City, open to destination weddings, or whatever you want it to be. You can set exactly what you want that to be. You can also put in keywords if you like. Recent studies have shown that keywords don't play as big of a role in SEO as we once thought, but if you still want to put them in, cool, go for it. And then you can set the exact image that also pops up next to your name. Let's say if you share your website on Facebook and you want it to be your logo, or you want it to be your favorite picture from a wedding that you shot. You can set that here and have that pop up just as you'd like it to be. You have that ability to set that for each and every page, so that's super important that you do that, and that'll also be what pops up in this tab here for the page title too. So for us, this would say Baileyana Rose Photography, New York City Wedding Photography, or Showit drag and drop website builder for pro photographers. So know that you have the power to make those SEO settings, as well as control a lot of the other SEO features throughout the rest of your site by giving H1 tags or H2 or paragraph tags to all of your text, and giving alternative descriptions to your photos as well. So Showit also gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility to control the way that your site is crawled and described when people are searching for what you do. So pretty cool there too. You also have advanced settings. If for some reason you want to add fancy code or you need to add a Facebook pixel, you can of course do that here too. So even though you don't need to know any kind of coding, it's completely a drag and drop website builder, you can add outside code if you'd like. Lastly, as you are designing your site, you may want to preview what your site will look like. Pretty cool to be able to do that. You can hit preview on this top left-hand corner, and you can preview it either in desktop view or in mobile view. Give it one moment. That's what it'll look like in mobile, and you can see that too. If you want to view it on a full-size screen, just hit that Show It Preview there, and it will bring it up for you, and we'll be able to see what it looks like. As I record, sometimes it's a little bit slower on my internet to make things pop up, but here we go. You can see exactly what it'll look like, be able to test things out, say, oh gosh, I want to make sure that I set up this click action right, and if I click about, it will take me to the about page, right? Super important. So when I click about, awesome, now it'll go to my about page. So you can test all of that usability, make sure that there's no funny business going on, and click around as you'd like and see what it'll actually look like for the end user. And make sure that what you thought you were designing actually does come to fruition. So pretty cool to be able to test that out before you actually publish your site. Coming back on over, once you are ready to publish your site, all you have to do is hit publish here, and it'll pop right up, allowing you to publish your site and go live. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything that you need to know about a basic overview of Showit. There's lots more that I didn't cover here that you can do with Showit, but I think this covers pretty much everything that you would need to know how to do if you were using a free template or a paid template of your choosing. And I feel like you should be empowered to hop on in and start designing on your own. So if this video was helpful, give us a like down below, give us a comment with any questions that you might have had, and then of course give us a subscribe down below as well so that you can be reminded about all of our new videos that we create to give you more great Showit design tips. And I hope that you're excited to start designing. So hop on in and start designing your new website on Showit. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy.